Hey everybody, welcome back to The Pressing Matters. I'm Scott. Thank you for tuning in and thank you for your support. Today I'm going to be talking about the Deutsche Grammophon original source series release of The Rite of Spring. And I've had this record on the back burner for a couple of weeks, dying to talk about it, but not being able to because it arrived on the same day that I got my turntable back with the Hannah ML installed. So I was in the very baby stages of break-in, like the first hour or two, and I heard the doorbell ring and it was this on the doorstep. And I was like, Scott, don't play this now. You need to just focus on your reference recordings, things you know well, and listen how the cartridge is doing and breaking in. And I did that for a couple hours, and then I said, wait a minute, let me unwrap this and play it. So I did, and I took it off because the cartridge was not ready to reproduce this record properly. The cartridge was still exhibiting a little brightness in the upper regions, and that combined with this ultra clear recording was coming across as a little too much to me at that time. So I took it off and I said, let me just wait, be patient. And I had the chance to really give the cartridge some hours during the last week. I was home all week because I was sick, so I played record after record and got it up to 30 something hours now. And one of the last records I played was this. So I'm going to tell you all about The Rite of Spring in a moment. Before I get started, two things. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. We're almost at 7,500. I'm going to do a giveaway at 7,500 for a sealed Blue Note Tone Poet. If you haven't got in on the giveaway, it's very simple. Just watch the video that I'm listing above and below called Blue Note Tone Poet Giveaway. In it, you'll just watch the video and it gives you instructions to leave a comment in the comment section of that video. And you're automatically entered to win a sealed copy of Babyface Willette Face to Face. So that's really cool. The second thing is now this and all other recommended titles are going to be listed in the description box below under one link. So I now have a Pressing Matters storefront. It's an Amazon affiliate storefront, and I only list things in there that are recommended by me that I've personally heard or from series that I've personally endorsed. So you can be assured that anything that appears in there I've thought about very carefully and are only recommended titles. So a really cool resource. It's fun to go through there and see this like as a storefront and see all the current pricing and pictures and stuff. So I'll be expanding that as I see fit, but check that out if you are interested in this title or any other titles from the major audiophile record series. So after the 30-hour mark, I chose the perfect time to listen to this. It was quiet at night. I turned out all the lights, and this is something that I suggest you try if you've never tried it before, is be in a receptive mood, turn out all the lights, and eliminate all visual distractions or visual indications that there's a system in front of you, and play a record like this, and you'll see that the space opens up and you'll experience the music on a deeper level. I did that with this recording, and the first thing that I noticed, and I played this at a moderate volume the first time through, not concert hall volume. I noticed that in the lower volume passages of the record, which there are many throughout the record, I still got all the detail and nuance of the recording as if I was listening to it at a louder level. So that says a lot about how my system is reproducing at a lower volume. If it can dig out the qualities of the record without sounding lifeless, that's really good. And this record was able to do that as well and add to that quality. So I heard all the detail in the low level sections. When the record started going, now this happens when you hear this little bit of plucking, dun, 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 dun. you know that you're going to get hit pretty soon with the dynamics of this record. And right after that part, there's a staccato rhythm of mass strings that probably inspired Bernard Herrmann's Psycho, just that kind of slicing string sound. And when I heard that, I was like, oh my God, we're in for a ride here. That section just floats like this, and everything else is arrayed behind it as little parts come out from that section. And wow, that was an indication that there is a vast sense of space on this record. And it was even more apparent sitting in the dark listening to this. The first orchestral crash gives you an indication how much bass depth there is on this recording. And it was surprising to me because I had never heard anything that deep on a Dutch Grammophon recording. It actually has bass, and it sounds balanced and deep and fully in the picture. It's a very wide dynamic range on this record, and huge soundstage, and large looming orchestral images just kind of washing over you. It's overwhelming at times, actually. Really, it's very appropriate for the music. It's the first time I've really heard the Rite of Spring done in such a visceral way. It seems like this is recorded very up close, so probably above the conductor or even spotlit on stage, spot mic'd on stage. So it's very vivid compared to the typical Golden Age recording from the 60s. Which usually takes a little setback perspective. I thought that I preferred that perspective for this, but actually the more I listen to this Rite of Spring, the more I'm like, wow, this is really a great way to hear this piece. It is ferocious, it's visceral, it's scary, it's like overwhelming, thrilling, and yet in the softer parts, it's absolutely beautiful. So it has everything going for it. The interpretation, I might prefer some of the earlier ones like Bernstein's, but this is such a thrill to listen to. I am so impressed that this kind of sound came out of Dutch Grammophon. I was like on the edge of my seat, and the second side was just as good. Second side has a wonderful intro with some menacing sound from the strings that's just like, oh wow, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. The pressing is very good. Optimal, I think, went a little extra on the quality control, and I didn't have any issues with the record. The jacket was beautiful. The sound is demonstration worthy, and I think you will love this record. If you have it, please let me know what you think. Honestly, I think this is a very demanding record, and your setup will have to be very on point to unravel all the detail, especially in those complex sections where everything's going at once, so it doesn't sound harsh, that you still get a little separation. But this is quite an achievement, and I'm like, this is probably the most spectacular of the initial releases. But there are 6 releases so far, I think, and I've got them listed in the description box below. If you've got the record, please let me know in the comments what you think about it. And if you're familiar with any of the other recordings of this era that are released in this series, I'd definitely like to hear what you think about those, because I'm not familiar with most of the material from this era. So until next time, I'm Scott for the Pressing Matters. Have a great day.